You know, it's always a joy to receive a new package in the mail, especially when it's the missing piece of the puzzle of my Winchester 1890 model. I recently built a 1906 Winchester and was very pleased with the results and decided that I wanted to do it again, but I wanted to do something a little different. So I did a little research and found out that prior to the model 1906, there was a model 1890. And there are some distinct differences, but the 1890 was really the first model they came out with. And then they came out with some cost reduction features and some enhancements, and then developed the 1906, which came out a few years later. But I started my 1890 collection, and I received a new package for what I think is considered the main ingredient. So let's open it up and see what I got today. What it is it's the barrel and the receiver. I bought it online, and based on past experience, the sellers always overrate what you're buying, and a lot of times you're disappointed in your purchase because it's not exactly what you were hoping for. But I looked at the pictures and determined that whatever it is will work just fine. You know, worst case scenario is you put this thing together and it's really not exactly what you were hoping for, and it becomes a nice wall decoration. So rather than putting stupid pictures in my house, I'd rather hang authentic old antique rifles. Looks like the seller did a pretty good job of packaging it, so that's a good sign. I've received stuff in the past where the sellers just throw it in the bag, and what amounts to a 100-year-old part ends up getting damaged in shipping. That doesn't appear to be the case this time. Perhaps I should have primed this a little bit so we were further along in the video. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. So, based on my research, the 1890 was the first model that Winchester came out with for the pump action 22 rifles that I'm currently working on. The 1906 was a later version, and it was basically a cost reduction of the 1890. And the differences are kind of subtle. In the cost reduced version, they got rid of the crescent buttstock, which of course looks really, really cool. So they came out with this flat buttstock and a piece of plastic butt plate as opposed to a nice metal butt plate. So I guess that saved a little money. I'm not sure if the wood is the same. I heard that there's different types of wood. There's a walnut and a gum wood, and to me these both look the same, like walnut to me, but I don't really know. And the other main difference is the 1906, which is a later version, is a round barrel instead of an octagon barrel. So I guess it's cheaper to produce a round barrel than it is an octagon barrel. I guess it kind of makes sense if you're starting off with a piece of round stock. Maybe the material purchase is cheaper. Maybe you don't have to machine the octagon into it. I don't really know their manufacturing process. Keep in mind, we're talking about something that happened 100 years ago. This particular 1906, according to the serial number, was produced somewhere around 1927 and is capable of shooting 22 shorts, 22 longs, 22 long rifles interchangeably. The original model here that I'm working with is set up for only 22 shorts. Well, there it is. So this is my first look at it. I think I kind of like it so far. I can clearly see that it says 22 short. The barrel really is not rusty per se. I mean, there's some pitting in it. It does appear to have some black oxide or bluing, if you want to call it that. I mean, it looks very original. It has the adjustable rear sight. There's a little screw here that allows you to adjust it up and down. The front sight's already installed. And, of course, I knew this when I bought it. This receiver is what they call the Type 2 receiver. The clamps are internal for the breech block, for the bolt action. And I already had this bolt action. So, again, I've been planning this, and I've been looking for parts over the past few months, and I've been buying what I could as it became available. So this, I got lucky and actually bought something that should work. So the bolt does fit in there, and it fits nice and snug. That's a good thing. The trigger housing assembly, I put this together already. It's got a half cock position that works. It's got a full cock position that works. And the carrier is set up only for 22 shorts. And you can kind of tell that. I don't know how good you can see it. Based on that slot in the carrier itself, it is set up for a short. That's what it's been machined for. That's what it's designed for. And beautiful. Out of the box, 100-year-old assembly. I'm just able to screw it together just like that. There's some pieces I got to put on there, but there's the gist of it, and that's great. That's awesome. Like I said, this is the octagon barrel. It's 22 short. It's got the crescent style butt plate. It's going to have a forearm with the, I don't know what you call the rings on them, but the grip. I have the magazine tube. Excuse me. What I'm not sure about is that the right length magazine tube? Is there a longer one I should have had on here? This barrel seems significantly longer than the barrel on the 1906. So that's kind of cool. That's probably another cost reduction feature, right? Less metal. So this one here is cheaper to build than this one. This one's significantly heavier. And I have most of the parts. So there's the slide action. Well, it feels nice and tight. I got the holders for the magazine tube. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm missing. I think I'm missing a little plate that goes on here. Not much. I mean, this gun is virtually done. I guess the big question is, will the hangers, oh wow, these slots look great. That's one of the problems with these older ones, is the hangers themselves, when you go to put them in here, they've been worn out. It's a dovetail, but it's kind of not really a dovetail. It's an oval slot is what it is, with an undercut. And that allows these tube rings to, of course you can't see anything that I'm doing, but whatever. That allows these tube rings to kind of go in here, and once you get them close, you just kind of pry them in place. But that is really crisp and clean. And then the next big question is going to be whether or not there's any rifling in the barrel itself. So that's a good question. Is there any rifling in this barrel? The description said there is some light rifling. So if there's any rifling at all, I'll be ecstatic. Most of the barrels that I've been buying show up as sewer pipes, furnace pipes, whatever you want to call them, but they're usually rusted. Well, not necessarily even rusted, but they're usually very pitted, not very shiny, and I guess you can clean them up and still shoot them. But if this has any rifling at all, I'll be really happy. But in general, I would say the metal feels fairly smooth. I think I can clean this up pretty good. Once I put the wood stock and the magazine tube on there, I think I'm going to have a shooter. So hopefully on my next video, we're going to be test firing this. I have 22 short ammo. I've already spent the time and effort building the trigger housing assembly, finding the vintage parts for it. So all of this stuff is vintage parts. None of it's new. So I'm trying to build it as vintage as possible. This forearm is not a vintage forearm. I'm going to try and find one. This one here is a remanufactured one. If I have to use it, I will. But I'd like to put a vintage one on here. If I could do it with vintage parts, that'd be great. That's what I did with this gun. This is the 1906. I found a tank sight. It's pieced together, but it's all vintage parts. The action is great on it. It shoots straight. There's rifling in here. I can hit targets 50 yards, no problem. Small targets, big targets. It just really works well. One of these days, I might get energetic and do a cosmetic restoration of it. But for now, I'm really concerned with just getting them functioning. And there's one more model I'd like to get, and they call it the expert model. The expert model has a pistol grip. The expert model has a fluted forearm. And then what a better collection of rifles to hang on your wall for conversation piece when company comes over. So hopefully this is all going to go together. I'm Frank Torelli. Thanks for watching. Oh, and by the way, I did hit 1,000 subscribers. So that's the bell. It's supposed to be a monumental moment when you hit that point. I'm not sure what that means in general, overall, but if you do like what I'm doing and you want to learn more about my escapades, I'm no expert. I'm not trying to teach you anything. This is just a hobby I developed that I'm really enjoying, and I'd like to share it with you as much as possible. So do subscribe, and hopefully when I do another video, you'll get some type of notification, and we'll do an update on whether or not this shoots, and maybe we'll go outside and shoot it and see how good it does shoot. So thanks. We'll see you later.